Hey everybody, I'm Alexis Garcia with PJTV. Our guest today is a distinguished journalist and commentator who's built his career on challenging popular opinion and cultural myth. His latest work takes on the greatest myth of all, the power and ability of government. Please welcome the host of Stossel on Fox Business Network and author of the new book, No They Can't, Why Government Fails But Individuals Succeed, Mr. John Stossel. Thank you so much for being with us today. You know, you have the book, No They Can't, but Washington hasn't seemed to get the message. I mean, we've seen continued spending, debt and deficits as far as the eye can see. Why do you think there's such a disconnect there?
Because we're imprinted to think that Washington can solve problems. Even I say when something bothers me, there ought to be a law. It's our instinct to turn to politicians, and this is a horrible mistake because they don't solve the problem and they're putting us deep in debt. But Thomas Jefferson said it at the founding of the country. He said it's the natural progress of things for government to grow. And that's what happens.
And we see some of this natural progress being played out in the 2012 election and some of this rhetoric that's going on right now with class division and this new word fair. I mean, what does that word mean to you?
That's a new word, fair? Look, it's appealing, the millionaire's tax. It's only fair that these filthy rich people pay more when there's so much need. But Friedrich Hayek said, the task of economics is to teach man how little they know about what they imagine they can design. And these fairness schemes basically just make everybody poor. I mean, they've tried that in the Soviet Union. People starved. That when people are free, there will be inequity. And the good part of that is, you know, some of those rich people are venal jerks who inherited money and are squandering it. But some are the geese who lay the golden eggs. And when you tax them, some just hire tricky lawyers who get them out of the taxes. Some leave, some produce less. And when they produce less, that really hurts poor people.
Well, I mean, why do you think wealth is such a dirty word these days? I mean, why do you think it's like that right now?
Well, there's just this discomfort of seeing some people so ludicrously rich by comparison to others. It makes me uncomfortable. And I think you get it in college because the college professor teaches you this is evil, maybe because his slightly stupider roommate went into business and now is making more than he is. Or it's, I mean, I divide No They Can't into here's how we're imprinted and here's what reality's taught me. And we're just imprinted not to like this inequity. We grew up in little clans of 50 and 200 people, and if one had much more than the other, then he may have stolen to get it. We're not programmed to like that.
Now, talking a little bit about reality, because as you illustrate in the book, so many examples, and you know, we see time and time again, even with this latest GSA scandal, that you know, whenever government steps into something, it doesn't always make it more efficient. It actually seems to make it worse. I mean, why do you think that this perception still exists when we still keep seeing these examples time and time again that it doesn't work?
Well, I'm glad you agree that it doesn't work because it's just innate. Because we're scared, and mommy and daddy raised us as kids. Evolution from all those years in the tribe where if you didn't follow the tribal leader and harvested the fruit at the wrong time, you were dead, and our ancestors wouldn't have given birth to us. So we're programmed to follow the leader.
How complicit do you think the media has been in helping to propagate all this? Because, you know, I remember watching you on ABC, and you were one of the few voices to actually challenge some of these notions. I mean, what's the media's role in all
Yeah,
this?
the reporters think the purpose of a news story is to point out some horrible problem. The crack cocaine epidemic, people spending too much time on the internet, poor people not spending enough time on the internet, whatever it is, constant problems, and the solution is always government action. It's just in most of their brains, and that's intuitive, but that's wrong, it's horrible. But free people on our own solve all kinds of problems. It's how we got iPhones and flush toilets and air conditioning and most of the good stuff we have now without government. But today's government's crowding that stuff out.
Now, do you think that it's changed, though, the landscape in the last few years? I mean, with the rise of the Tea Party, and we've seen kind of this conservative blog movement come about. I mean, do you think that people are becoming more aware that this isn't always as it seems?
A little bit, but you know, some of the Tea Party people were holding up copies of the Constitution, waving. I thought that'd be good if we go back to the simple rules, adding, not calling people 3/5 of a person and adding some pollution rules. But they weren't serious about it. Most would say, yeah, but don't cut my Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that's going to bankrupt us the most.
You're one of, the great libertarian voices. When I think of libertarians, I think of you. And, do you think that the Republican Party now heading into this election, do you see kind of a libertarian strain kind of evolving within the conservative ranks?
I sure hope so. But most of them don't like Ron Paul, and he's doing a coherent libertarian message, and he's only getting 12% of the votes in the primary. Oh, next week he's going to catch on, and he's going to take the lead.
Yeah, he's hanging in there. I mean, why do you think it's because of his foreign policy message, or, I mean,
Maybe.
Why do you think people are hesitant?
It scares away. And he's not saying we should be isolationist, and we shouldn't be isolationist. We should trade with every country. We should kill anybody who tries to kill us. We should maintain defense. He says that. He just says we can't police the world, and we have made some new enemies by doing that.
We've seen, like you said, this entrenched intuition for more government. How do we fight this, and how do we, untangle ourselves from this notion that you've laid out?
Well, I think there's a very simple way to do it. You just give everybody you know a copy of No, They Can't, and get me on the bestseller list along with Rachel Maddow, and then they'll discount the book, and all these ideas will get out, and people will understand.
Well, you heard him, ladies and gentlemen. Go pick up a copy of John Stossel's No, They Can't. It's a great read. You really enjoy it. Mr. Stossel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.